Last year, this email campaign made us over $150,000 in sales, and the year before that, it did the same. It'll make us close to $200,000 this year, and each and every time we send it, it just works. We have used it to sell consulting, marketing services, SaaS, coaching, courses, even physical products. When Tom used this campaign, it booked him a bunch of high-level SaaS customers. When Sharon used it, it booked her over $50,000 worth of marketing consulting clients. You can use it with your business to get clients and also to use it with clients to help them get more customers. That's how versatile it is. Best of all, you don't need a massive list for this thing to work. In fact, you can start sending it from day zero just to a handful of leads and you will make sales. It isn't cold email outreach. Something that I love about this campaign is that it literally does not require any new web pages or sales pages or funnels to be built. You can send it just as is. My team's favorite thing about it is that they literally just drop people in at the top of the automation, and basically it makes sales by the time people come out the end. We can rinse and reuse it every couple of months, from $30,000 projects to $279 courses and everything in between. And the crazy thing is that you only need to write one sales email, which is basically a fill in the blank exercise that I'm going to go through with you now. The rest are designed to either nurture your list, be genuinely helpful, and even get them to tell you that they want to buy. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through every single step of the campaign. I'll show you where to get the template and how to set it up on automation. I'll show you how to rewrite the templates to suit different products, offers, and services. And I'll show you how to pitch and offer it to your clients today so you can literally use it to make money now. Okay, so the reason that this email campaign is so powerful is because it uses three incredibly important psychological principles that hit every button that we need as humans in order to buy something. Okay, so this campaign is broken up into three stages, and it follows those same psychological principles that we talked about earlier. Now, I know it looks like a lot, but trust me, there's way less work here than you might think. This campaign is sent in order from top to bottom, but we actually write it starting at the middle. So if you remember those three psychological principles that I was talking about earlier, these are the ones that all humans need to hit in order to buy something. Well, we actually start in the middle working on the first principle, and this is the hardest one to get right. The good news is that when you do get it right, it works magic with your sales. Plus, with this campaign, you're going to reuse the middle email over and over and over and over and over to cut down on your work. So let me ask you, have you ever had your curiosity piqued where you click on a video or a product or an ad, and then after a bit of reading or watching, you realize like, this isn't for me? That's called expectation drop off. And it happens when you don't address the needed psychological buying button in order to move it past to make a sale. So we're going to start with the email in the middle. And what this email does is basically make an offer. It's a sales email. But don't let that put you off. You don't need to be an amazing copywriter or an amazing salesperson. All we're going to do is we're going to fill in the blanks and follow the email structure how I've written it. So you can see here that we're writing this on a Thursday, or we're sending it on a Thursday. You want to give them a tangible benefit that they care about. You can see here, like this one says, I'm going to show you how to find a $25,000 client. That's something that people can physically feel in their hands. That's something that they want. Here's a pro tip. At the start, do not mention your product, the offer, the method, the service, your history, your background, your experience, the system, none of that. The only thing I want you to write here in this first part is something that your audience wants. If you're thinking, well, they want a marketing agency or they want a marketing campaign, they don't. Why would they use a marketing agency? Because they want sales. Why does someone want a double-walled, single-sheet, zero-seam coffee mug? They don't. What they want is for their drinks to stay warm or stay cold for 6 hours. Sell the why, sell the better future. Sell futures, not features, right? So we're going to start with something that they're actually going to get. We address three things here that prevent them, or they think are preventing them from having this result themselves. So it might be something like they've tried before, or a self-limiting belief, or a thing they're dreading doing. Like this one here says, even if you don't know where to find those clients. And then I just outline the things that I'm going to show them how to do. Now, this is strictly related to the problem that we're solving and the thing that they're getting. Lots of people overcomplicate this. If I tell you, I'm going to show you how to keep your coffee hot for 6 hours, one thing I might show you is what to put inside your coffee cup before you drink to double the time it takes for your coffee to cool down, right? If you're a marketer working with other businesses, you're offering people sales and customers and clients, what you might show your customers is how to stand out in a crowded market and still charge more than anybody else. Notice how I'm not getting technical, right? I think even 3 of these repeat basically what the thing is that they're getting. I'm just showing them how we'll get that result faster and easier. These are just problems that they have. Overcrowded market, premium product. All I'm doing is focusing on a problem that they have and rewriting it to be something that they no longer suffer from. And then I take them through a few results here from clients or past clients that we've worked with. Now, if you absolutely do not have any previous results, talk about other people who have got those results that you could use as a case study. But you probably do have results. And remember, people don't want the world. They don't want everything. They just want what's relevant to them. So we're going to dig into your client's past work and we're going to celebrate the things that you've helped them get that other people might want. So through this email, we're just continuing to make it relevant to the reader. We keep answering the question, is this for me? We also start to qualify people and tell them what they're going to need to do or be in order to try and see results. But what's interesting about these types of qualification questions or statements is that they're often aspirational beliefs that people want to be as well. We then continue with a list of benefits here. Now, these are positioned or framed as things that they'll get or things that we're going to show them how to do. But what they really are is problems that we have solved with our solution. So for our coffee cup, it could be the lightning fast way to reheat your coffee and still have it taste great, even if you don't have a microwave. For our marketing agency, it could be the 24/7 employee who books calls for you when you're unavailable. By the way, that's an actual real thing that high level can do with their AI employees. And after all that, we just answer some questions. How can they get started? How much? How long does it take? What do they need to bring? We're just repeating over and over, this is relevant to you, right? Anyone can get a click and a view. Getting people to open your emails is just the first stage, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But keeping them reading is an exercise in relevance. Is this for me? Of course, if they don't click, they don't read, which is why the next psychological principle is so important. And the good news is that we've just made it 100 times easier to get those clicks and opens because we've already crafted the offer. If we go back to the top, all those emails at the top are to do the thing after making it relevant. Now, these emails are all designed to do one thing. They're designed to hit that first psychological button that we all need. And all you're going to do is explain how people can get the results that you're offering. That's it. Now, I like to do this in 2 ways. First, I record a Loom video where I talk about the thing that they want. Like, here's how to keep coffee warm for 6 hours. Here's how to drive more sales from your website and land more clients or whatever. It's not complex. It's not clever. I will just talk through the stages that we go through in order to get them an actual result. You're kind of giving away the secret a little bit. Now, you might be thinking, but if I tell them how to do it, why would they need me? In my experience, if your business relies on an industry secret or a method that only you know, you're heading towards disaster because at some point it all becomes public and known and peer-to-peer. So if all you have is a secret method that they only get to know after they pay you, that's quite a dangerous situation to be in. Instead, I tend to think of things like a partnership or an accomplice. If I tell someone how to keep a coffee warm for 6 hours, they still need to buy the actual coffee cup to make that happen. If you show people how to land more clients, they still need help adapting it to their business, putting the pieces into place, and support when they run into problems, which they absolutely will do. You don't even have to go into that much detail. Inside the template, you can see I'm actually giving my example. It's not a long video. It's not massively in-depth. It just shows all the ways that we can help and the problems that we solve. That's one email. We basically ask them, like, do you want to see the video on how we do it? And another is we just write out what that system is. We basically write out the process. And each time through this email, I'm simply asking, would you like some help with this? Hopefully you can begin to see that what we're actually asking for is replies and responses. Plus, we are building massive credibility by actually showing them how to solve this problem. You constantly hear like value, like lead with value, give value, add value, right? And the word has sort of lost all meaning to me. So instead, I just think, does this help solve a problem today, right now? If not, it's probably not valuable. Now, the emails before this one are just simple case studies. You can see how short they are. In an ideal world, you'd have testimonials and interviews and case studies. Now, not everyone has that, which is okay. You probably do have case studies. They're just not written up. But really, all you're doing is just showing people how one person, just like them, got the result that they want. Now, again, if you absolutely do not have any case studies, my advice would be get some. Yes, third-party case studies can be valuable. Like, I like listening to podcasts about businesses who have done the thing by like Stephen Dubner or Willa Paskin or whatever. But you can absolutely outline how other people have got the result. It can help. But nothing on earth has the impact of a client case study that you have worked on. Each email is just a case study linking to a PDF or an interview, or it's like a link to your testimonial wall. Now think about this. Look at the order we're going in for our campaign. The offer is actually coming after the proof. It's coming after the case studies and after the how-to guides. We are demonstrating capability first. We're not even telling them there's a product. These first two emails, before we send any of those case studies, drive this all into like hyper mode. What if your clients told you that they are ready to buy? How different would your sales process be if your clients approached you and said, here's the problem I'm suffering from, can you help? Now, I've literally built a 7-figure business off the back of this method. Imagine that you are at the Football World Cup final on the center of the pitch for the final, right? That's 1.12 billion people watching you. And imagine that if you bribe FIFA to give you a 30-second spot at peak viewership, I know it's difficult to imagine FIFA being so corrupt that you could bribe them, but just pretend. What most people would do, what most business owners would do, is they would spend those 30 seconds talking about the business, and they'd say, we're ABC Marketing, we build really good sites using AI, blah, blah, blah. We've all seen boring pictures like that. And why is this? Well, if you remember that second psychological button that we need to press to make sales, which is relevance, it doesn't sound relevant to you, so you tune out. But instead, you are smart, so you're going to do something different. So you're going to stand on the middle of the pitch and you're going to say, if you own a business and you're struggling to get more clients, you might like this. Now, if you're in a stadium, I think that they're like the Narendra Modi Stadium in India holds like 130,000 people or something. Like Michigan is like 110,000, right? It's just crazy numbers. But imagine you're there, and if you could ask people to literally put their hands up, yes, only 5% or 3% will connect and will raise their hands, but they're engaged, they're willing, they're waiting for something relevant to them. You have clicked on that first psychological button that we need. And then you say, if you're struggling to get more clients and if you want to double your sales in 29 days without relying on a marketing agency, maybe you should call this number. Can you imagine how many calls you would receive? And it's all because of that first psychological button for sales. Now, without it, there's no open, there's no read, there's no views. So if we look at these, can you see how I'm saying right at the top, I'll be opening the doors to 25K clients. I'm making it super accessible. If you want to skip the line, just reply skip. Or I'm working on a new program. Let me know if you're interested. All we're doing is we're piquing that curiosity to get them to say, yes, this sounds interesting to me. Now, this is the stage that addresses that third psychological button that every customer needs pushed. Let me explain how you can actually get this campaign. If you use the link on screen now, just scan the QR code. I'll leave it up here for a little bit. You can scan this, and I have pre-built not only this entire campaign, but the automation as well, plus the raw copy for you to rip and upload and do whatever you want with, or you can use the link below and can get it that way. I've basically uploaded this into a free trial for high level, so you'll get a bunch of campaigns plus a bunch of other like automations and all this kind of funnels and stuff. Sign up for the free trial, upload your list, send them this campaign, thank me back here in the comments. Full disclosure, I am an affiliate, obviously, of high level, so if you do sign up using my link, I might get a payment, but it doesn't increase your price. It's just a cool way to support the channel, support the business. Anyway, back to the email campaign. So the final psychological button that we need to hit, we've had relevance, we've had curiosity, and this final one is really critical, but too many people avoid it. Lots of people forget about it and they completely ignore it, but it's critical because it plays on something that advertisers have known for years. So we've got curiosity at the top, that gets attention, no clicks, no views. Then we have relevance, making sure that the offer is as relevant as possible to our audience. And this final button down here will 5x to 10x your sales. When you watch TV, have you ever seen the same advert more than once? If we look at the campaign, everything from Thursday onwards is designed to show the same offer again and again and again. Just each time we just have a slightly different angle. Like on Friday, it's, okay, in case you missed it. On Saturday, I say this closes soon. On Sunday, I'm saying you're about to lose your space. You can see the actual content of the email is actually basically the same, or even just a link through to the checkout page. To give you kind of a high level overview, if we take a look, this part here, the actual invitation, this is the kind of sales letter. If you were to copy this, you would see that each email from Thursday onwards either takes one section of that email and asks for a reply, or just sends them the entire sales letter again, just with a slightly different introduction. And when I share this with people, their immediate reaction is, ugh, I would immediately unsubscribe from a campaign if they sent me this many emails. I don't want to spam people. I would unsubscribe. Except no, you actually wouldn't. And I can prove it, right? These are the Thursday to Sunday emails for the last time we ran this campaign. If you ignore the skips over here, it's because our mail settings were wrong. We're delivering to between 12 and 8,000 people at a time. There is not a single unsubscribe throughout that entire process. Over 8,000 emails a day sent at least 3 times a day for 3 days. Your list wants you to remind them lots. Look, we're busy people. Your clients and your leads, they're not sitting around waiting for you to make an offer to them. They see an offer they want, they click it, and then the door goes for another Amazon order, or they realize that they have a call, or they see a notification for a new video. There is a reason that Audi still has to advertise 4 times an hour, every hour, with the same basic advert over and over and over and over and over. We've all heard of the power of 8, how a person requires like 8 touch points or interactions with a brand before they make a sale. Well, the data now shows that that number is actually higher, and email technically doesn't count as a touch point according to Email Tool Tester. If you've ever driven past a petrol pricing sign and not needed petrol, of course you have, but as soon as you do need petrol, that information becomes highly relevant. You need reminding. Your list needs reminding over and over and over. If you've got kids, how many times have you had to tell them to stop doing something? Do they listen on the first time? Do they even listen on the 10th time, right? Human beings need reminding more than we need telling. And all we're doing now is just reminding them over and over and over. Look, I'll tell you this. Every time I run one of these campaigns, I do get one person complaining of spam. They usually send something like this. Now, an email like this could cost me $100,000 a year if I listened to it. However, do you know how many emails I get after a campaign ends asking if there's still space? I get dozens. I get loads of people saying, I'm really sorry I missed this. I was out doing other stuff. Do you still have space available? Do you know how many testimonials and results I see from clients thanking me for running a campaign? Hundreds. The world is full of people who want you to stop. Guys like Aaron or whatever most likely had a bad day and just needed someone to vent to. But what's insane, this guy didn't even unsubscribe. In fact, I did it for him. What really turns this campaign into a money-making machine is the offer you put behind it. What you need is repetition. But what really turns this campaign into a money-making machine is the offer you put behind it, which is why in this video here, I talk through exactly how to build the actual offer that you sell to your clients using this exact same campaign. You can watch that video here if you want to see how I build the actual product and the offer that we sell to clients.